Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. Of course, the 2022 FIFA World Cup up and running in Qatar. The finals, the quarterfinals, is about to kickstart today by 4 p.m. and much more by 8 p.m. Will Croatia be able to stop the Samba boys? Talking about Brazil. And what about the Netherlands? Will they be able to kickstart this one in a very perfect note? Good morning once again, and thanks for joining us this morning.
I have plenty of questions begging for answers as far as the World Cup is concerned. Croatia takes on Brazil. On the show this morning, we would take you back to 2014. What happened in the game between Brazil and Croatia? Something dramatic happened, even though the Brazilians won 3 goals to 1. It's about the biggest football competition, the FIFA World Cup. We'll also be traveling to Delta State. My name is Joseph Atewe. Good morning.
And you know, Joseph, there is no other better way for us to start the show other than talk about Qatar. I mean, for 2 days now, we've not seen any match coming up, but definitely today, we're going to have the quarterfinal start up, and which I am super excited about, and we're going to be seeing the likes of...
You also missed football.
I mean, you just have to love football. I mean, judging from what Morocco was able to do, I mean... I saw
an article that said a whole festival was halted when Morocco qualified. To those that were at the game village, they had to stop many of the activities and celebrate at least for 5 minutes.
And we also heard about
qualified.
we also heard about the fact that CAF also celebrated Morocco getting into quarterfinal. I think it's a huge one for all of us and for sports as a whole. And definitely, let's start from the hits and misses of the World Cup. Of course, that's what we do first and foremost before diving into the quarterfinals, fixtures, and reviews of other games. And let's talk about Louis van Gaal. I mean, the Netherlands boss. He has come out to shrug off a criticism from Argentina's winger in person of Angel Di Maria. I mean, we understand the fact that Angel Di Maria played with him when he was under Manchester United, and he is saying that Louis van Gaal is the worst coach he has ever worked with.
Well, a lot of people had issues with Louis van Gaal. I mean, at Manchester United, it brought in some key players like Angel Di Maria was part of them. I think it was after the Olympics in Rio. Not too sure now that they went to Manchester United. And they had issues. They complained about his trainings. They complained about his player selection. But you see, at the end of the day, it did cost him. I think Louis van Gaal, for me, if he had listened to his players, if he had been soft with his players, he would have done well because he was a good coach. But then they weren't playing for him. And they sacked him. Louis van Gaal was sacked after some months. You know, as a boss, you don't need to be bossy all the time with your followers. Sometimes you need to come down to the level, and that's the only way you can get the desired results. And that was what Louis van Gaal failed to do at Manchester United. But then he has gone on to learn. Don't forget, this is a sports stint at the Netherlands. And look at what the Netherlands are doing right now. He now understands that you don't need to be bossy all the time. If you want to get the you will not get anything. You understand? So I think that is what happened. But calling him the worst coach ever, I think...
It's not proper at this time. You know, as for Louis van Gaal, he said that, I do not like it that Angel said this. It's a pity. That's what he said. And he said, but sometimes a head coach has to take decisions that don't always end well. I mean, is it a proper statement to give after receiving such criticism?
See, at the end of the day, no matter what happens in this station, one man, which is Sade Fila, that's my boy, hope he's not watching this, will be the one to take all the blame. There's always somebody at the helm of affairs. So Louis van Gaal, of course, no matter what happens, will definitely take the blame. So he's the boss, and whatever decision it takes,
it bounces back on him at the end of the day.
Because the consequences also lies on him.
Most definitely. And moving away from that one, let's talk about England's winger in person of Raheem Sterling. He is to return before Saturday's tie between them and, of course, France. That's the champions current champions of the World Cup.
The Sky Sports are reporting that Raheem Sterling has joined up with the Three Lions.
Okay,
so he's already with them. Yeah, that's an update from the Sky Sports.
And I think it's a very nice one. But let's not forget about the fact that the Chelsea player, 28 years old, he flew back to England on Sunday following a break-in at his family home in Surrey. And I feel that at that point, I feel that if he hadn't gone back, he would have much more been distracted. And, you know, we might as well have an update in trainings and all of that.
No matter what, no matter family first. I mean, he got the news that his house was being burgled.
Yeah.
His kids were there, his wife.
Yeah.
And his grandmother. I mean, he had to return. But then
to
the
check
police,
about their well-being.
the sheriffs there have also they've arrested 3 persons in connection to that. One of them is a Pakistan national there, and of course, an African from Senegal.
I think they burgled also another building. That was what led to
Raheem Sterling's apartment. So they've arrested 3 persons, but then the good news for the Three Lions is that they have one of their player back with them in Qatar as we speak, and that is according to Sky Sports.
But do you feel that Raheem Sterling coming back, because Calvin Phillips has come out to say that Raheem Sterling would be a massive lift for England at a point?
That's what I said. One of their talisman. Sterling has not been consistent since he left City for Chelsea. But we need to understand something, that he's trying to adapt. And at the time where he was trying to adapt, the World Cup started. Is that at the World Cup? At the World Cup, you need 7 games to win it. The first game they played, which they won, I think they won 5 or 6. I can't remember the team they played. Sterling also got a goal.
Yeah. I think that was against Iran.
And one thing you cannot get elsewhere, they're getting right now from Raheem Sterling, is the pace.
Yeah.
It's got massive
That's what
pace.
is needed in the midfield also.
And it cost England when he was absent. I mean, they did not have
Against
that flair. Jude Bellingham is good, but cannot still swing the balls.
The likes of Calvin Phillips, they also need Raheem Sterling.
But,
I mean, it's a teamwork.
I mean, you look at Calvin Phillips, you look at Raheem Sterling. Yes, they don't play the same position, but they are not even on the same level. Calvin played for Leeds before he moved to City. And has never played a single... I don't think he has played full match, 90 minutes for Manchester City. But look at Raheem Sterling, he's one of their key players, no matter what. At Chelsea, his contribution on and off the pitch, both for country and club, speaks volumes. So coming back, I agree with what's his name right now, Calvin Phillips.
I mean,
that is a lift for the team.
And definitely, I think Raheem Sterling, the likes of Raheem Sterling, will also be among the young generations that are emerging concerning the World Cup. And let's still talk about England, because they have so much of update. I see them when it comes to the World Cup. And Gareth Southgate, I mean, is his ability right now with England being underestimated in any way? Because let's talk about this man. He has been able to bring them to the semi-finals in 2018 and also to the Euros finals in 2020. Is this enough to be able to say that he has the ability for this team so far?
Gareth Southgate, I believe, is a sweet coach in the sense that there's an exceptional world with the Three Lions. You spoke about the Euros. They got to the final, lost on penalties to Italy because Saka missing that one. And, of course, he was heavily criticized for that. The World Cup 2018, they got to the semis. They're on course of going to the semis again. Give or take, has done well with the Three Lions. And I'm super excited. There was a point where they had Roy Hodgson. The Three Lions under Roy Hodgson was a disaster. There was a point where they had, they've had series of coaches. The Three Lions, the English national team, had 4 coaches in 5 years at a point, and which was their worst ever. But right now they have a Southgate who has been in charge. I can't remember when he took over the job.
Yeah, he took over in October 2016.
But he has been with them. It was at the World Cup 2016 till now.
He has won 49 games and lost 13 of his games in charge since.
So
I think most definitely, I think Calvin Phillips is not wrong due to the fact that some people have been stating about the fact that he's underestimated. I mean, his ability as a coach is underestimated. And let's see how far England can be able to go from the quarterfinals. Let's see if they can be able to emerge in the semi-finals and eventually finals. Let's see how that one pans out to be.
It won't happen.
You always have this way of talking about teams crashing out.
They're playing the defending champions in France, and I don't think they have, technically wise, yes, they're good. Man to man, talking about manpower, they're nowhere near what's them right now, the French national team. But football, as we said, look at Morocco and Spain. We were taught. So I agree with you that it's possible.
Yeah, it's
but
possible.
then I doubt if that will happen.
Anyways, let's move away from that one and talk about the France national team. Let's talk about Didier Deschamps. I think there's a problem. In as much as we saw the likes of Andre Onana, being suspended due to disciplinary issues with the coach. Let's talk about Didier Deschamps and, of course, Benjamin Pavard. I think there's a complaint concerning Benjamin Pavard because he wasn't able to do well in a particular match, which I can't even really remember right now. But then Didier Deschamps is just trying to talk about the fact that Pavard lacks self-criticism. Even when you try to tell him something, he doesn't take it as right. I mean, we've seen these issues coming up based on discipline issues with coaches and players. At this point in time, don't you think this might be a sort of distraction?
For
bad attitudes of players towards the coach.
Didier Deschamps is a professional. Before he joined up with the Les Blues, that's the French national team, he has coached more than 5 clubs in France. When you talk about a coach who is patient, you talk about Didier Deschamps.
Yeah.
Benjamin Pavard.
He has covered up for him so many times.
Yeah, I know.
So many
but
times.
then there's a limit. I understand.
Yeah.
You have players like that with bad attitude. I say sometimes that a player like Mario Balotelli shouldn't have gone down the drain like this. He had attitude issues. And there's a limit to where someone can condone these things, you know. And so Didier Deschamps, whatever he says, I agree with him because I remember in 2018 too, they sent 2 players out of that squad. You recall that Simon Nasri was also laid off the squad after I think France crashed out at the group stages in 2014, no, 2010. That was in South Africa. And he had to lay off some players, even though he had tried to cover up for this guy. So Benjamin Pavard is still pretty young. He just needs to understand that it goes beyond what you deliver on the pitch.
On the pitch.
I can be a coach, no matter how good you are, I will bench you. And that is what Didier Deschamps is. Yeah, I will bench you no matter what. I lose, I perish, they will sack me. But
you know,
and it's also killing your career because there's something they call motivation. The story of Raheem Sterling, Sterling was, I think, was Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
It was bought for, I think, £2 million by Liverpool. Now, they had an issue with the player. What's the name? I can't remember his name. Sorry about that. But then it was bought for £2 million. They had issues with, the player had issues with coach. They brought in Raheem Sterling, the 64th minute, and that's the story till today.
And
so if you think you are the ultimate, there are people waiting to get a position.
Well, you know, definitely. Can we liken this to what happened with Ronaldo and Ramos so far in the games? Bad attitude,
no, those ones
out.
They've over the years proven themselves, and they're global figures. And no matter what happens right now, every club wants to take advantage. In fact, look at what the Saudi Arabian club is doing now. NAS, £172 million.
Yeah.
We hear that Ronaldo might still even turn that down because we're hearing in Russia, right? I mean, in China, there's a £280 million waiting.
Okay.
And so, yeah, these are groups. So everyone wants to take advantage of that. But then Ronaldo did himself some good.
Yeah.
And this attitude did not play out during his prime when it was shining.
Yeah.
But right now, he just needs to understand. He needs to come to terms that his career is almost over. It's over.
Almost coming to an end.
I mean, the CNN, even Sky Sport labeled him the star.
Nobody wants.
And so he needs to understand. Him and Lionel Messi needs to understand that. And I believe after this World Cup, yes, this should be their last.
But you know, talking about Ronaldo, I think he's a very controversial person that loves attention when it comes to social media. So he can go at any length, you know, to want to talk. But talking about Lionel Messi, so far, we've never gotten such updates from him. So is he trying to accept the fact that after this World Cup, I mean, it's all done for him? The likes of Kylian, the likes of Raheem definitely are coming up for this one.
No, I don't think so. Over the years, Lionel Messi has been that player.
Yeah.
People were different. Do you understand? Ronaldo behaves in the way he's behaving.
Yeah.
Messi is that. Of course, both of us are 2 different persons. There's some things you will stomach, and trust me, all the time I'll be explosive. So it doesn't mean we're not good. So when it comes to acting like that, they're 2 different persons. I think we need to go on the break, but let's talk about games today. Croatia, Brazil, and the Netherlands versus Argentina.
Well, most definitely, I asked the billion-dollar question when we started to show that will Croatia be able to end the samba dance that we've seen Brazil, you know, display all over this time. Of course, that particular dance, the whole carnival, the whole celebration on the pitch, even with Tite joining them, I think it has been a major problem for the South Korea boss in which they played last time and knocked them out. He saw that as disrespect. So this time around, can we see Croatia, you know, against Brazil in a very colorful one? who is going to crash out, in fact?
It's looking at the stats right now. These teams, when it comes to the World Cup, have played 5 times. And the only time Croatia managed to get a point will be the 1-0 draw they played in 2006. That was the 2006 World Cup. Croatia-Brazil. After that, it's been disaster. There's a 2-0, there's a 3-1, there's a 1-0, there's a 5-0. On paper, you give it to Brazil. But then one thing I've learned from the Croatians, playing as a unit has helped them very well. And in 2018, no one gave them the chance to get to the final of the World Cup. They met a well-experienced team in France, even though the game ended 4-2. They did push, and they got the backing of their female president, one of the sexiest presidents I've seen. And she's also in Qatar as we speak. It's only 41. That's the motivation. And to every time you have the Croatians play, you see her go to the dressing room to motivate. I'm talking about the president, not Effie, the president of the country.
I think it's...
So that's enough motivation for them. Playing as a unit. Watch them play. They start badly. They progress into the game. Don't let them sink. But that might also cost them against Brazil. If you start badly, it costs you. Look at the South Koreans, the same pattern.
Yes,
and
of course,
in 36 minutes, Brazil has scored 4. But they had to wake up and, man, this is turning into a disaster.
I mean, they couldn't even match up the energy and the pace on the field.
Start early, start well. It's a do or die. Brazil, one of the favorites to win this.
And, you know, talking about when you see people like Luka Modric, you know, running and dying on the pitch with some pace, some energy, I think it gives us that young star, that young blood in the tournament so far, because we've been able to see golden players, the likes of Kylian, the likes of Raheem, the likes of Jude, and all of that. So many to mention. Of course, I'm not even mentioning some names, but when you see them running like they want to die on that pitch, definitely it's something that you know that their lives depend on.
It goes beyond running too. These guys are experienced. You can be running and still not deliver anything. There's Adama Traore, who plays for Wolverhampton Wanderers, but has nothing to that. That was why he was turned back rather from Barcelona when he was on loan. And I feel, well, as you said, they're superstars. But let's move to the game between the Netherlands and Argentina. That's another game to watch out for. And if you look at the head-to-head of these guys, you still want to agree with Argentina all the way.
We would be able to carry this one. But, you know, Argentina is at the starting point of the World Cup. We didn't see them do much. We didn't see the likes of Lionel Messi, you know, wanting to do much on that pitch. But so far, looking at their very last game, I think they were able to play as a team. I think they were alluring at the end of the day. And definitely, we must tip it to Argentina. But let's not forget about the fact that we've also had upsets all over the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup.
Whatever happens between the Netherlands and Argentina, I don't think it will be an upset. Because even the Argentina national team, they showed the world that they are beatable and they can be beaten well when they lost to Saudi Arabia.
Yes, of course.
But then one thing they also know how to do is come together as a team and wake up from the slumber. They got to the final of the World Cup in 2014 against Germany, lost their first game as well. So, I mean, that's good about Argentina, but then don't take away from Netherlands.
Because we've seen definitely...
In 2010, they lost narrowly to Spain. I mean, so these two teams will slug it out.
And,
but
you know, let's look at Netherlands, their style of play. Of course, we have my crush there in the pitch, definitely. Virgil van Dijk, of course. And one thing we've meant to, you know, associate them with is starting a match on a very slow pace. Not really slow, but on a very moderate pace. And, you know, eventually they just get in and get goals as simple as what you can ever see.
That's what I said. They play the same way, the same way with what's them right now, Croatia. They start slowly, watch you for the first 10 minutes. But we've gone past the group stages. We've gone past the round of 16. This is a do-or-die affair here.
Quarterfinals.
You're not playing against Iran. You're playing against Argentina. You slump rather for 10 minutes. They take you off.
Or you lose.
It's over. I think for 5 minutes, and let's just remind you again, some of the matches that we've seen in the past, like Brazil-Croatia, interesting game we saw. In 2014, Argentina also played the Netherlands. So what was the outcome of that game and what to expect this evening?
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West. And Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girls got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be shown on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 defined the configuration of Africa, which hitherto existed as a continent of multiple kingdoms and empires under native rulers. The conference, otherwise referred to as Congo Conference, regulated European colonization and trade in Africa as initiated by German leader Otto von Bismarck. The Berlin Conference is often called the scramble for and partitioning of Africa, as each of the imperial powers carved separate portions of the continent for themselves without recourse to racial and cultural identities and differences. 137 years after the Berlin Conference was held, Africa remains a legitimized playground for European nations that sought to exploit its wealth and resources and manipulate its human capital to promote trades and investments of Western powers. Western Spring Television identifies Berlin Conference as a major event in history.
Sports is a culture on its own. It has its own language, its own people, with their own way of life. The world of sports is never void of actions, stories, dramas, and scandals. I guess you need a sports show that can walk the walk and talk the talk.
On this show, we answer all your sporting questions. The whens, the whys, the wheres, and even the what ifs. Sports Spring is that show that will give you that new lease of life you've been looking for in sport journalism. Join me, Joseph Atewe,
And your sports Amazon, Nengi Ernest.
on this station, Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on StarTimes.
Let's talk sports. Let's speak the most universal language of the world.
Minutes we have to go.
Welcome to Anfield. 11 days to go until the opening game of the FIFA World Cup. And here at the world-famous home of Liverpool, we have an important warm-up fixture between many people's tournament favourites, Brazil, and always dangerous outsiders, Croatia. Glorious summer Sunday on Merseyside, 3 weeks on from it. Healthy attendance inside Anfield for the 5 times world champions Brazil against a Croatia team who's Willian. Danilo and Willian. Adele. intervention of Thiago Silva. It's Modric. And it was a useful effort as well. Lovren. That was the last thing he wanted, a sharpish pass. And Croatia have it with Kramaric. Paulinho. And then Danilo. A little blessed with options. Paulinho. It's not quite happening for Brazil. Superior in possession. Marcelo. Half-time at Anfield. It's goalless between the 5 times world champions and Croatia. And in fact, it is Croatia who went closest with Lovren's header that shaved. And in glorious summer weather, away we go for the second half at Anfield. Willian. Behind by Lovren. One of the best bits of football that Croatia have produced. Coutinho. Neymar. Neymar still! That's why he's so special. He's not played in more than 3 months. Messi!
Silson was sure to command that side of the goal for Zabaleta. Counts. What a challenge that was. Who got a stud on it, nothing more. Weighing up. Well, this might be. Robben. Iron Robben! Well fielded by Romero, pitched. She's in his ears. Nick forward here for Palacio! Who headed it gently. Bouncing off Fla, circumventing Count. Messi's cross, Maxi Rodriguez. Again, Argentina's first are notes and there's theory, and then there is force. All well. Fla for the Netherlands. Saved by Romero. The number 1, the man. Messi for sure. Wesley Strider. Oh, what a save! What a save! It's in, and Argentina.
All right, welcome back from those match highlights. Of course, this is still Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. I can't help but smile to some of the hits and misses when you talk about Netherlands, when you talk about Croatia, Brazil, and the rest of them like that. And I think we're going to see a super hyped match today, come 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. And very much...
It just shows the beauty of the World Cup.
Of course.
And that is why, no matter what we need to talk about, it's the biggest competition.
Yeah.
But I think we need to move on right now and talk about our Olympics. That's the National Sports Festival.
The 21st edition.
This is the first of its kind. There will be seen a one-way traffic competition.
Especially for the hosts.
Delta State. It's a one-side. I mean, how do you have over 200 medals? And I mean, second, Team Edo is doing well now.
Yes, Team Bayelsa. Yes,
Team
of
Bayelsa
course.
is also doing
Followed
well.
by Oyo, Lagos.
These guys are waking up, but then they went to bed too early.
And anyways, Team God Bless has won another gold in 200 meters race. That is for Bayelsa State. And I can tell you for sure that Delta is still leading with 369 medals in total. 194 gold, 88 silver, 59 bronze. And for Bayelsa, they are second on the log, the medal table. They have 189 medals so far, 78 gold, 57 silver, 54 bronze. And for Edo, they come third on the log with 168 medals so far, 38 golds, 51 silver, 97 bronze. Lagos, Oyo, and River States are 4th, 5th, and 6th on the log so far, Joseph. I mean,
it's
just like you said, it's one way.
It's one-way traffic, but there's an improvement too. It's just like when you see Manchester City, for example, win the league. Forget that. There are also highlights in that. And the beauty of these seasons or these years' competition is that you have teams from the southwest. You spoke about Lagos, Ogun, Oyo. In time past, you have them 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, of course.
And you have them. So I think that's an improvement from their side. And most especially Lagos. I'm even disappointed in Lagos. Because the Youth Championship, they came first ahead of Delta. So I thought
that was
maybe
more like pre-season to one of this
but it's
National
good.
Sports Festival.
They're coming up. Very soon. Like what you have, Arsenal now, which in Manchester City.
Downwards.
The next one, which we believe will be hosted by Oyo, you have most of these guys throw Team Delta that say, come on, we can also do it. But then we're still expecting an improvement from the north.
But you know, for Delta, I mean, currently the likes of Zamfara, Yobe, and all of that with no medals. But I wanted to ask about the fact that is it because they have the hosting rights, or it's just that Delta is clinical when it comes to athletics generally?
No. I believe it's because Delta has the money to pay. Look at some of the guys. There's Adesoji Ayinde. There are lots of Yoruba names on that list.
Yeah.
They have the money. Osun State,
and they have the best.
Osun State.
When you have the money, I think you have the best also on your side.
Yeah, because I think Osun State allegedly are paying someone 50,000 if you win gold. Delta State is giving you a whooping 4 million naira with a gold medal. Of course, even if it costs me to change my name from, I would do. So, of course, so they have the money to pay.
Yes, of course.
And that is why they have the best hands, of course. Yeah.
Of course, Team Edo is to face Team Delta today in volleyball, and we just hope that that one falls to either. I mean, these are arch rivals when it comes to National Sports Festival, and let's see how that one pans out to be. Let's talk about the preseason tourney that is going on currently before the NPFL season for 2022-2023 is going to kickstart. Now, yesterday we saw Bendel Insurance playing against Rangers, and that one ended 2-1 in favor of Bendel Insurance. And of course, the Elephants, Eyimba, talking about Eyimba and 3S seed, ended in a goalless draw. And for the third place match today, definitely Bendel has that one already for the third place. And then the finals, we're going to see Eyimba slugging it out with 3SC, that's Shooting Stars. Now, so far, we've talked about Bendel Insurance. I would always want to hit on them because I saw their penultimate rounds and I saw the NNL that led them to the MPFL in total. Now, is this exposing some of the weakness? And do you think that this is a proper start for them to be able to identify the weakness so far and see how they can be able to do and slug it out in the MPFL?
See, there's a lot to fight for in this final. And for the 3SC to start with, from the Oluyole Warriors, as they call them, they've been doing well. And of course, getting to the final of a major competition like this, even if it's a pre-season tournament, there's 100 million available for them. And it's a problem. The Oluyole Warriors, under the time of, I think, Abiola, you know, you see them do well. At some points, they went down the drain. And that is why governments, you know, having governments in charge of our sports is a problem. If you have a governor,
which I think the NFF president has been able to switch it this time around.
It's still difficult.
Sponsorship.
It's still difficult. The sponsorship team might play. You have a governor who likes sports, your team will do well. You have a governor who doesn't think sports is important. Look at Rivers United today. Look at those guys. If Wike lives there, you might not find Rivers United. Kano Pillars had a governor then who liked sports. They won the Premier League 3 times in a row because the team was well funded. So for 3SC, I believe they should enjoy it while it lasts. Because Makinde leaves the position.
And let's not forget about the fact that it was the interim management committee that actually put this tournament together. And also the most valuable player for the tournament, the preseason tournament so far, is going to receive an award, and also for the highest goal scorer. Talking about awards, let's talk about Sunday Dare, and let's talk about Elegbeleye, if I pronounce that right. Elegbeleye. Thank you so much. And Sunday Dare has been able to bag African's illustrious Minister of the Year?
Well, I don't know the criteria. I don't know how that was done.
Talking about that, yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I wouldn't have given it to him. Yeah, I wouldn't have given it to him because I really don't understand. Under your watch, we are not at a major competition like the FIFA World Cup. We've lost billions of naira. And even when we lost, you still did not take drastic action. You are the minister. You have the power to do some things, like we saw them do with the NBBF, that's the Basketball Federation.
Yeah.
So
probably there's some criteria that has, pushed him forward.
Maybe. I don't know what the organizers are looking for because I don't understand why they gave it to him. But for Elegbele, I look at what he has done. He
got a distinguished sports administrator of the year.
I mean, with what he has done with sports when it comes to clubs in Nigeria.
And also the NLO boss in person of Ogunowo, he is also getting that award for the football administrator of the year for the NLO. So I guess, for me, I see it as positive because this might want to push them further to be able to attend to people's needs and, of course, sports in general. And let's see how that one will pan out to be for them. And talking about football, let's talk about the UEFA Women's Champions League that is currently going on. Of course, we had Chelsea and Real Madrid played yesterday, 1-1 draw. And, of course, PSG facing the Lasnia women. Of course, Lasnia women were top hot in that game yesterday because they had 4 goals to their names as against PSG women, who I thought would have been able to slug it out with them. But most definitely, I think we're going to go on a break for this one. Let's see what Chelsea and Real Madrid did differently on that pitch as well, PSG.
Okay. I don't think we're able to go for a break on that one. But then quickly, these are the results on your screen.
Of course.
Lasnia, I got 2 goals, but they were those goals were disqualified. Disallowed, I beg your pardon. Then Paris Saint-Germain won 4 goals to nothing in that one. For Southampton, this is still the best outing. Playing out to 1-0 draw with Slava Prague. Real Madrid, Chelsea, both teams on course to qualify to the next round. Wolfsburg defeating Roma 4 goals to 2. They're very strong when it comes to female football, talking about the German side.
And I think it's a very nice one. Definitely the tables are also shifting in order. They're also taking shape. That's when you talk about the Women's UEFA Champions League. And I think because of, we're still talking football. So let's talk about our Flying Eagles. These people are preparing for the AFCON, and they've had preseason games, just like we're seeing some of the NPFL clubs doing preseason games ahead of the AFCON. And they were able to humiliate the Zaura boys of Kano 8-1. Now, people are of the opinion that you are supposed to bring forth very competitive teams to play with these guys. They're going for the AFCON, for crying out loud. But Landon Bosso says it doesn't matter the quality of the preseason. It's just the fact that it's to get the boys ready. Do you see it from the same perspective for him?
For Landon Bosso, I mean, he's a good coach when it comes to selecting. We've seen the Super Eagles play some unknown teams too. It's the head coach. Of course, the hammer will be on him. So if we fail to do well at the competition, he will definitely get the boot.
Criticism,
and he will definitely be criticized for whatever it is happened with the team.
And of course, let's get down to this break because we also have games in the NBA being played at the early hours of this morning. And of course, we have highlights for you, the highlights between Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs. Definitely, we cannot be able to get that one for now. We're sorry, but let's talk about the results so far. I think it's a very nice one going down in the NBA because we have the likes of Houston Rockets, Spurs, and every other team that is a full force to reckon with. That's what we have. We have the LA Clippers, going much more ahead, in this one. But definitely yesterday they lost against the Miami Heat, 110-115. And for Houston Rockets, they played against San Antonio Spurs. And San Antonio Spurs were able to spout the light yesterday, 118 as to Houston's Rockets, 109. Portland Trailblazers against Denver Nuggets. Of course, Denver Nuggets are hotting up in this season presently, and it's 121 to Portland Trail Blazers 120. So far, I think the NBA, you are getting to see the fact that it has been separated. The pretenders have been separated from the contenders, and let's see how that one pans out to be. But so much early this tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing matches being played. Washington Wizards is going to take on Indiana Pacers. Toronto Raptors is going to take on Orlando Magic. New York Knicks, of course, I'm looking forward to that team in this season so far. They're going to be taking up Charlotte Hornets. And, of course, LA Lakers are going to be taking up Philadelphia 76ers. And there's an update for the LA Lakers concerning LeBron James and Anthony Davis being a probability for the match. And of course, Boston Celtics, the club I always root for. Definitely, it is something to watch about. Minnesota Timberwolves against Utah Jazz. Milwaukee Bucks, these people won the league, Joseph, last 2 seasons. And we do hope that they can be able to come up in this season, competing with the likes of Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics.
But I'm waiting to see what the Detroit Pistons will also bring to the table. The Memphis Grizzlies, and how far they can go in this one. And of course, some of the big guns in the NBA. We have to go.
And of course, just to wrap it up in the NBA, LeBron James and Anthony Davis might not be seen in today's early hours matches. And of course, Golden State Warriors has released a statement that Anthony Davis is not a defendant in any lawsuit, because there was an update recently that he was filed against for a rape case and all of that. But definitely we're hearing from them and it's all clear up. And much more information is going to come from them. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you so much. And we do hope that definitely you were able to enjoy all of the sporting updates. My name is Nengi Enes. Have a blissful day ahead.
My name is Joseph Atto. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.